I'll admit, I was a bit skeptical at first when I found out all of the regiments of renown in the 1.2 update were going to be elite infantry. Well, I mean, I guess technically you could class the Ogre Man-Eater pistols as elite infantry in a way, but anyway, getting back to it, Khorne already has great elite infantry and just in general, very cost-effective, excellent melee infantry, and being that they are sort of the best at that, Exalted Bloodletters are the best of their best infantry, and now we've got this Regiment of Renown Exalted Bloodletter unit that is the best of the best of the best. Today, it's going to be Cathay versus Khorne. This particular replay submitted by Sir Tarquin. The Cathayan player, obviously, he's got a Lore of Yang, Dragon-Blooded Shugengan Lord. We've got a Terracotta Sentinel, 2 Longmas, 2 Celestial Dragon Guard, Jade Warriors, Peasant Long Spears. In reserve, we've got Terracotta Sentinel, Grand Cannon, Crane Gun, 2 Jade Lancers, 2 Jade Crossbows, Jade Warriors, Iron Hails, 2 Peasant Archers, and 2 Peasant Long Spears. For Khorne, Exalted Bloodthirster, risky pick here with all the armor-piercing missiles of Cathay, but let's see how he does. Hellforge Host is much safer. Just in general, Bloodletter's hard counter like almost all of Cathay. So in general, I would say take a lot of Bloodletters and Exalted Bloodletters. So definitely like the pick of the 1 ROR and the 1 regular in the starting army. You've also got some spawn, couple of Fleshhounds, couple of Furies, more Fleshhounds in reserve, 1 Shielded Warrior, 1 more Bloodletter, 1 more Exalted Bloodletter, 1 Blood Crusher, 1 Minotaur, and 1 Skull Crusher. So a nice grab bag of units in the reserve pool. Let's get started here. So yeah, I was having this discussion recently with a Creative Assembly employee, just in general about Cathay and balance. I might have mentioned this in another recent video, but one discussion we were having is specifically about this matchup is that Cathay has a horrible win rate in this matchup, generally speaking. And I think one big reason for that is because of the design of the factions. Bloodletters just absolutely butcher the core, the meat of Cathay's roster, right? Which is their defensive armored infantry. And just in general, the Bloodletters, like countering a lot of that is a problem. In fact, they also have pretty decent speed. They trade decently into heavy cavalry as well, just because of their high offensive output in armor-piercing damage, and especially like these Exalted Bloodletters with a little bit of extra armor, help them not take quite so much damage from a shock charge. They can definitely counteract back and push pretty heavily, 52 attack with massive weapon damage. Talked and gushed about these guys before, but now let's see how they can do here today. Certainly they do have a work cut out for them. These Longmas are going to come forward. Might try and just directly go after the Furies, but they do have to be careful of this Exalted Bloodthirster. Gotta make sure to stay in a position where they can potentially protect the Shugengan Lord. Yeah, Shugengan, really the biggest thing would just be to avoid, but a nice charge from the Longmas in the sky here. Same thing on the low ground. They're going to get into a pitched engagement here and just wipe these Furies very quickly. 1,100 points immediately down for Khorne, which is great. Longmas will take a little bit of losses from the Bloodthirster as he responds, but should be just fine. But, oh man, this is just an accident waiting to happen, and not really an accident, to be honest. It is completely and 100% on purpose, but see these really nice Celestial Dragon Guard just making their way forward to this objective like they got no worries in the entire world. Well, they should definitely be worried because they're charging straight into some Bloodletters, and we'll see if the Bloodletters actually get their counter charge. Pretty important for them to do so, given their massive charge bonus, but what's happening up on the high ground? Nothing really that important. We've just got some hounds charging through, and it looks like the Bloodletters do not get their charge bonus, so that in and of itself is pretty good. This is a nice hammer and anvil too. The Longmas actually just get straight in there and get a rear charge. A few of them actually not making contact as they're doing the air hump dance, but the Hellforged Host, they do not care. They are going to just completely womp all of these units, and I mean, if they had countercharged into the Celestial Dragon Guard, they probably would have already beaten them. But even as it is right now, just in this more grinding melee, they can still hold their own just fine. Meanwhile, up on the high ground, like I said, the Hound's getting into an engagement here. We've got Bloodletters. Looks like we're going to get an explosion. This is a lot of Winds of Magic to be spending on a single Bloodletter. I kind of get it at the same time, but I probably would just use the Dragon's Breath only. This Constellation of the Dragon, 18 Winds of Magic to cast on a single 800 cost Bloodletter is pretty painful. Likewise, the Exalted Bloodletter Also pretty painful as it crashes into those iron hails and just quickly takes them out. Thing about the Hellforge host also is that they charge up their Hellblade faster, right? They got the Hungering Blades, which requires less kills and is already charged up as, like I said, they just won that engagement despite a full-on hammer and anvil from an seemingly elite air cavalry, although they really, I mean, they're good, but they're not that good, right? Just get completely wiped there. And over here, Bloodletters, same thing, trade very cost-effectively straight into the Celestial Dragon Guard. So from the Cathayan player's perspective, I probably wouldn't actually engage the Celestial Dragon Guard forward onto this objective. I would have just kept them back and waited until you could develop some crossbows, some peasant archers, anything to really try and give you some missile support, try and win that fight, because there's just no way the Celestial Dragon Guard are ever going to win. And at the very least, they're just going to die slowly, and they certainly will die. But anyway, Longbows come in, collapse on the high ground. This does mean this objective will be secured for Cathay, so despite the horrendous losses to the Hellforged host so far, it might not end up mattering that much if Cathay is able to still win on objectives. You can get running for her life, though, as the Exalted Bloodthirster is not being focused by the cannons. The cannons instead trying to go after the Hellforged hosts. They now make contact with some peasants. In terms of, whoops, value, didn't mean to pause there. Yeah, they've already got 2,200 value, so easily paid for themselves just killing those 2 units, which is great for Khorne. Cathay also came through, cheeky peasant long spear, securing this side objective. Very good stuff there. We'll keep an eye on the objectives in general. The Iron Hails, another Cathayan unit's just kind of taking up a defensive position here. But a little bit of a problem. The Hellforge host just pushing forward into the deployment, arguably overextending a little bit here, as we do have some more peasant archers coming through, trying to get some volleys. No, it looks like maybe they're actually going after... I'm not sure what they're going after. Maybe they're on mode. Yeah, just retreating back to help defend. But got some Jade Warriors coming through. Ooh, big hits from the Bloodthirster on the Dragon Lord there. Dragon Blooded. And the cannon now switches onto the Bloodthirster, which, to be honest, probably should have been on Bloodthirster from the beginning, but I get wanting to take out the Hellforge host. They are an exceptionally dangerous unit. That being said, though, them pushing so far forward has left the Sentinel to its own devices here in the center to try and maintain this objective and not allow Khorne to capture it. So this whole time, although Cathay is kind of getting pounded in terms of value, now the cannon also getting taken out by a Rogue Fury rushing in. Got the crossbowman being deployed right on top of them. So things are looking a little rough in terms of value, but Cathay also doing okay and trading reasonably well on the objectives. Certainly this very strong high ground force should be able to secure this objective for some time. Khorne's units are very expensive, so they don't tend to develop pushes very quickly. Takes them some time to really get some units together, although those units can push more independently. Like here, just charging straight into some spear units, which you wouldn't normally advise for like a sort of demi-cavalry like these Flesh Hounds, but they are definitely going to get the work done, especially in a nice little sandwich. There, Bloodforge host came through and just continuing to commit horrible acts of atrocity against his Cathayan army here. Actually going to sweep up and around now and try and just avoid the deployment zone if they can. These Jade Warrior crossbows maybe arguably should follow up, but instead going to move towards the center objective, towards the side objective perhaps, try and keep this secured. It looks like the Flesh Hounds will be able to wrest that away, though. So Cathay not far enough ahead to where they can just commit to holding the one objective. And the Sentinel, unfortunately, it's like it's going to be isolated and killed by the Bloodthirster. From the Khorne player's perspective, you might just toss the infantry in to support this. I mean, the Bloodthirster is going to be fine in a 1v1 here. He'll definitely win, but RNG-wise could go maybe worse than what you would want. So, yeah, it wouldn't take much. Just toss one of these infantry units in an attack order to support. But anyway, more Furies getting killed by Longmas in the sky. Flesh Hounds getting a little bit caught up there. The Hellforge host are trying to get to the objective. They're going to get interrupted by the Shooting Gun Lord, but honestly, I'd probably take this engagement if I was them. Yeah, just get an attack order on the Shooting Gun Lord, get a surround, and start to get some attack animations in, and she'll fall over in a big hurry. Relentless Rage gets popped here, making them unbreakable and making their unimodels unable to be killed. Unfortunately, it looks like the Shooting Gun is going to be able to escape there, kind of sensing the danger. Flesh Hounds holding hill push. Bloodthirster comes through, is going to wallop on these Longmas. There's a nice explosion to murder my frame rates as well. Pretty good stuff. Flesh Hounds there kind of overextending a little bit, keeping Cathay bottled up in their deployment. That in and of itself can be... But looks like... Did Khorne actually capture any of these objectives? No, a huge potential mistake, as Khorne hasn't actually secured this objective, just barely still being controlled by Grand Cathay, now being captured by Khorne. So, thankfully, you know, for a Khorne at least, it's going to be very close, but they do have the ability to win on a 2 cap, just barely, like literally just barely, but I don't think they need a full 3 cap here. So, Cathay, while they may feel like they're safe just defending this top ground objective only, it would definitely benefit them to send some horsemen or something to try and wrest this other outside objective. Pushing into the center, I mean, maybe. There is just the one weakened kind of Chaos Warrior currently getting shredded by the crane guns there. Yeah, that shield breaker trait definitely being felt pretty brutally in that situation. Let's check in. Hellforge Host still alive, still kicking. They're up to, yeah, almost 200 kills, almost 2,700 damage value, give or take. More Furies rushing in, trying to shut down those crane guns. Crane guns probably still haven't paid for themselves yet. They've just taken out one shielded warrior unit, but at the very least, they have contributed somewhat to victory here, must be said. Let's see. The Flesh Hounds continuing to trade well, even uphill into the Jade Lancers there. And I'm not really sure what happened here. Something happened to dish out significant damage to the Exalted Bloodthirster. To now, he's running from the Shugengun Lord. Let's see. He's going to turn around and start fighting here. He could even... Well, I guess he couldn't manually land now that there's another Sentinel on the ground. But the Shugengun Lord going to come in and risk it for the biscuit. Takes some hits to the face, but stand in the pocket, delivers strike the face of the Bloodthirster, forcing him into banishment, and goes down. The big boy falls. So with the Bloodthirster out of the picture, that will definitely help Cathay. It's going to be a big monstrous presence off the battlefield, but the Hellforge Host, they're a monstrous presence in and of themselves, right? Especially with the support of these Furies. They're going to come in here, although they are probably exhausted at this point, very tired. They are going to get a nice little charge in here, start to wall up these Jade Warriors. No question, they rout them quite easily. They're probably going to be able to rout these peasants as well, and they'll probably get the top ground objective secured, and just in time too, as Cathay is very likely to secure these 2 bottom ground objectives. So Khorne needs to maintain 2 at this point. Minotaurs, I didn't even notice this, but a nice deployment of Minotaurs in here. Come in, do a ton of damage to the Sentinel. You can see the Sentinel initially, it said, was winning combat, but now it's turned around to just even. Cannon has been summoned in for Cathay as well, try and get back in terms of value and just push back these Minotaurs and whatnot, but they are just cleaving, absolutely cleaving that. Oh, they got the Horn of Khorne melee attack buff too, up to 60 melee attack. That is pretty impressive stuff. Value is rapidly ticking up against that Sentinel. And Hellforge Host and Doggos were able to actually get this objective pretty much. I mean, they've got some Peasant Long Spears coming in. They're going to get interrupted by the Furies, so they can't even get to the objective. And then Flesh Hounds and other units are going to charge out. I might have kept the rest of them here, to be honest. A little bit overkill to overblob all those units on, and you do need to secure this objective as soon as possible. So, yeah, if you could get a full 3 cap here, that would put a pretty decisive nail in the coffin of Cathay, but right now, looking like Cathay's not going to be able to actually stop the 3 cap. Well, I say that. No, they do actually have this objective now being capped. Very clutch by this one Jade Warrior over here, so that will prevent the full 3 cap because it's definitely in danger of happening, although again, just leaving the one very tattered unit of infantry here, the Hellforge Host by themselves don't have enough capture weight. I'd peel this other hound back for the time being. But anyway, cannon, crossbow fire raining in. Great weapon. Minotaurs obviously lacking missile block chance are definitely going to feel the pain on this one. Oof. Oof, some nice cannon shots too, hitting not only the Minotaurs but the Bloodletters as well. So this kind of missile infantry push from Cathay could be enough to win them the game at this point. We'll see if they're able to get all of their units and get on the objective, kind of similar to what we saw with the Cathay game I showed last time, the Cathay Mirror. That was a couple days ago, probably, when you're seeing this. In that situation, we saw where the peasant archers were able to get up and get onto an objective, and in this situation too, for the Cathayan player, you'd want to just get all of these skirmish infantry units and make sure you move onto the objective. Not only will you be in range to be getting harmony on both your range and melee units, but of course get the extra capture weight as well. Speaking of capture weight, the cavalry going to lend their capture weight here, and some clutch cannon shots, despite the danger close nature of that shooting, managed to not kill all of the Jade Lancers, and mostly only hit doggos there, which is pretty impressive, honestly. But Khorne's definitely got the 2 cap, no question about that, and Cathay has very little chance of pushing them off of that 2 cap, but at the same time, we'll see. It's going to be super tight finish here as Spawn are moving in to try and capture this objective. We got a tattered Fury unit moving in to try and silence the cannon, but they do have Jade Lancer support, and Peasant Archers also firing in to try and just break the leadership there. But we'll see. It's going to be super tight, guys. Another clutch long spear too, just bypassing the Flesh Hounds, getting onto the objective and forcing Khorne out of position. Hellforge Host somehow still alive, chilling up on the high ground. 2,668 in terms of damage value. And more peasant kills looming there, potentially. But yeah, it looks like Khorne and Cathay actually going to now trade objectives, trading objective 1 for 2. And yeah, as long as Cathay can avoid the 3 cap, they should be fine. But now, let's take a look at this capture weight situation. I think these units are both powdered enough that, yeah, I doubt that the peasant long spear can actually capture that objective. Let's see. Got cannon continuing to fire in, try and take out those spawn. Center objective was capped for Cathay. They should be able to maintain, and yeah, they need only 250 points. Should be okay, but let's keep a view of the whole battlefield here as Khorne pushes forward. They need to pile in all on this center objective here and just try and take out these peasant long spears as quickly as possible and actually get the capture. But also, again, clutch from Cathay. Jade Lancers coming in, see off those Flesh Hounds. Maybe retake that objective as well. The time is quickly running out. There's just a handful more seconds. Will the Khorne be able to capture this center objective in time? It's going to be super close, guys. But it does look like they might be able to. Man, yes, 40 points, 35, 30. It's just, oh, it's so close, guys. And it does look like the 3 cap literally within 5 points of victory. Khorne manages to secure that center objective. That's 1 tick, literally 1 tick away from victory. And now Cathay is in a horrible position. They really don't have any way of easily re-securing any of these objectives. And the game is so close to finish at this point that Khorne can probably just hold on for the win about 5 more seconds, and they will be able to do so. So such a clutch finish there from Khorne. I thought for sure they were out, but literally at the last possible second, they managed to capture that objective, get the 3 cap, and get the win. Very impressive stuff, honestly. On both sides, well played to both players. And that initial sort of, I would call it a blunder of just kind of running the Celestial Dragon Guard in on that center objective was the only really glaring mistake for me from Cathay. Other than that, I mean, the macro, the micro was generally pretty all on point, so not really too much to criticize. In terms of build composition, I might try and option in 1 Celestial Crossbowman. They're relatively resistant to Furies, at least more so because of their armor and melee defense. And of course, the armor piercing damage is just legit. Range is a little bit longer than something like an Iron Hail. So I don't know. I've had success with them in this matchup. Can be tricky to protect though, for sure. On Khorne's side, I mean, yeah, Hellforge Host managing to hold until the end. Literally ran like a full lap around the entire battlefield and murdered everyone. So that's great. The Spawn also trade very well and are just generally really nice in this matchup. Almost 2,300 damage value on a single Fury is also awesome. I know they got summoned multiple times, but that's fine. Also 303, 222 kills on some Flesh Hounds. They're great for chasing those routing units. And then, yeah, the Minotaurs came in, got some really nice value against the Sentinel. And other than that, really didn't do too much. The other Flesh Hounds also just really nasty, nasty strong in this matchup. And I would say there's a general lack of Jade Lancers. Like, I think you probably want more Jade Lancers. Both of these ones performed very well, so I would think you probably just want to take a couple more, honestly. And that would be, I guess, my other main criticism of this build. Probably cut the second Sentinel and just take more Jade Lancers instead. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.